So today's objective is to dig a sewer line from that manhole all the way over to this structure here. We already did a water line a couple weeks ago, and now we're going to do the sewer line. So I'll show you the drawing that the city gave us. A lot of the time when you're digging in a place like this, there's a lot of stuff you have to cross, and naturally you have to call in, we call it a gopher one. I don't know if it's the same thing throughout the state or the nation, but they come and they mark all the important utilities for free. Here's the drawing that the city gave us. It describes the end of this street, kind of blurry, and it describes that they put in some 6-inch PVC pipe that hooks to the original Orangeburg line, which is bad. And right here it shows the grade. It's about 1% to here and about 2.5% to here, where it hooks in 5 feet plus or minus something. So they're just saying it's about 5 feet deep. So what we're going to do is dig across where we think that line is coming and that connection is, which we've kind of already marked out here with this scratch in the earth. So coming from this manhole, should be coming off at a random angle like that. They don't know what the angle is, but from here going that way somewhere. So I'll probably just park right in here and dig, pulling the dirt, pile the gravel on this side, I'll pile the dirt on this side, and we'll get down to it and see what's there. So I scraped the gravel off of the area where I'm actually going to dig. We switched to the wider bucket. You can see our trench, and we are down to the Orangeburg there. It's just in the shadow, and I just haven't marked with that there. But we're going to just proceed digging. I'm going to reposition and dig from that side, pulling up that way. Then I can kind of put my spoil here, because I'm going to have a lot of spoil when I start trenching that way, so I don't really want to pile all of the stuff from this hole right there. I kind of want it over here. But I got to go about 2 feet over that way. I'm trying to stay out of the alley as much as possible. Supposedly all that stuff is over there, but when we dug up the water line, it was like where that cone is on the right, it like came that way, so I don't know. Who knows what they actually did when you're digging. You just have to expect that it might not go as you want it to. You almost always hit random stuff that nobody knew was there, or they thought was 15 feet over or whatever. So yeah, but at least we found the sewer line, and it is plastic going partway into the alley. Okay, so we're dug down to the city connection there. So Simeon is going to hand dig, expose that the rest of the way so that we can hook onto it. And I'm going to backhoe dig straight from here to the corner of that shed right about there. That's where we want to go. A tone when we're at the bottom of this pipe right here. So that's our maximum depth. So we've hit our first mysterious unmarked wire. Not sure what or why that was for. I'm guessing it brought power maybe to lights or something long ago. But hopefully there's no electricity still to these. Hopefully they are what you would call abandoned. But yeah, no way to know. Not very shallow. See the other side there? Mysterious. So if you do cut across a batch of just abandoned wires that aren't throwing sparks or anything, I like to just tuck them back out of the trench, and then somebody comes along and is like, oh, that was for such and such thing and we still want it, and then they can hook it back up. But for now, obviously, we'll just leave it like that. As you're digging, it's just important to have somebody come and check the depth occasionally, so you don't end up taking out way too much dirt. For one, it's extra work, and two, it can really affect the sewer line if the dirt settles underneath. So I try to just dig like the bare minimum that is needed, and then we usually smooth it out with a little gravel. That's all the further we got. We got to there, and then a hydraulic hose blew on the backhoe. Very difficult to get to way up underneath there. Eventually we got it out after much struggling. So we sent the hose in for repair, but probably we are not going to dig anymore today. So it's unfortunate, but oh well. And that's how digging goes. So we didn't make it back to the job site until the next day, pretty late in the day, because I had a hard time finding someone who could actually repair that hose, or rather make a replacement. Ended up calling like 4 different places before found somebody that had the right fittings. But you can see I'm just digging the clay out, putting all the clay on this close side of the trench, and I put the black dirt on the far side of the trench. And then Darren and Simeon are coming along with the laser level, which is of course adjusting for the slope up toward the high end of the drain. And they're packing in some gravel to just kind of get it right at the right height. It's of course important to not dig too much dirt out and end up with a spot that could potentially settle underneath the sewer line. So we try to dig it very, very close and then just scratch a little bit out with the shovel, or just add a little bit of gravel and pack it in really well. The digging conditions were actually really good. It wasn't too wet or anything. Right here we ran into another random wire, so we were trying to decide if that was important. Seems like it was just another abandoned line, maybe going to a light pole or something. So we got the rest of the trench dug after fixing the backhoe, and I think they just have a few more fittings down there to glue in, as you can see, and then we'll be done. So I'm going to begin filling it from this side, and yeah, you can see it definitely shallows up. So we've got slope on it, not a lot of slope, but slope. So yeah, shouldn't be much of a problem. I'll just push all the clay in, go around that side, push all the dirt in, and then we'll pretty much be done. And there it is, all done, all the way back to the shack. So yeah, I think it looks pretty clean for the most part.